Hello everyone, and guess what? It's time for another episode of... Yes, it's time for another episode of What's in the Bag, and I don't know, let's see what's in the bag. This one, what we're going to do is have a deep dive look into my virtual show bag. This is the bag where everything that I would ever need to do a virtual show lives. Not the techie side of things, because it wouldn't fit unless I moved things around, but we're going to have a look and have a deep dive and see what tricks and things like that live in there. I'm going to explain why I have them in there, and yeah, so let's get to it. So this is the bag I use for virtual shows. Yes, it is a hefty boy. This bag is actually from the TCC company, which are based in China. They did a Kickstarter last year, and this was one of their bags that they had going. So I pitched in for it and got this beautiful looking bag. I'm very, very happy with it. It is wonderful, and it has lots of little compartments. Let me show you all the compartments. And this is where it comes into its own, you see, because of all of the nice little compartments. Okay, so what do we have in here? Now, when I do a virtual show, I have a little bit of an idea. I have a set list in my head of what I'm going to do. The set list also lives on my computer. Now, how I do a virtual show is I load up OBS and I run a virtual monitor through OBS. So I use NDI. So I use the NDI video monitor and NDI virtual camera to connect them all together. I think that's what they're called. Hang on, let me double check. NDI virtual input and NDI virtual camera. They're the ones, and they plug into OBS really, really well. And then I can plug them into Zoom to do Zoom, Microsoft Teams, all that kind of thing, so that I can then have full control over my OBS. And I also use my tablet, which I have normally by the side of me when I'm doing a virtual show, and I have that with OBS control on it, so that I can quickly adjust the different cameras that I use, because I use this webcam, and I also use my phone usually as a camera, which is normally about there or there on a tripod, so that people can see. So that's my setup with what I do. Now, regarding what's in the bag and the reasons for it, we have, I'll go through the order of the show that I do, really. So the first things first is in here, which is this. This is, for those that know, is an Industrial Revolution. So we have this, we use this first. This is the first thing that people see. And I go on about how... what magicians do is a moment of impossibility, and I do that with that. I'm not going to perform this for you, but if you type in Industrial Revolution into YouTube, it'll pop up. So I use this. I then go into a rope routine. So I have my ropes here, ready to go. So yeah, all my ropes ready and waiting to go. And I also have the ring that goes with them, because it is a ring and rope routine. And then from there, I generally... get someone to pick a colour, because what I'm going to do is end my show on sort of an invisible deck thing. It's not an invisible deck, but it's kind of an invisible deck thing, and that's where this bad boy comes in. So, what is this? I hear you cry. This is not something dodgy. Honestly, this is 2 bulldog clips with a piece of thread, essentially. And what I do is I take one bulldog clip and I clip it to my curtain here, and the other one swings freely in the breeze. And my reasoning for this is because I want people to be able to see the deck of cards that I use at all times. So I get out the deck of cards, and I pop it open like this, and there we go, and it just hangs there for the entirety of the show. It doesn't go out of their eyesight, and it stays there. So yeah, and it doesn't spin because it's got the wall behind it, but that's what I use. And also I like the fact that it's made bigger by clipping it here, because that way people can always see it at all times. So that's where I use that. It's quite handy to have. And then what I would do is I would go into a coin routine. My coins live in here. So there we go, there's my my coins for my coin routine. Let's put them back in there so I don't forget. And then we would go on and do a variation of card warp and so on and so forth. So yeah, but everything has its own place in here. I even have some little cups and balls, because I do a small cups and balls routine, so they live in here. And what I'll do as well is I will set up the table so you can see exactly how everything lives and how everything comes out of here and goes onto the table in the order and stuff like that, so you have a better idea. And then for the big grand finale, we take the thing down and put it up, and then I generally end with this. Now this is my razor blade routine, so I tend to end every virtual show by doing the razor blade swallow, and everything lives in here. I like this because for a start it belonged to my granddad, so there's a little bit of an emotional hook to me. It's been battered and bruised and has literally been all over the world with me. It's only made of cardboard, but it's where my razor blades live. So they go in there and fit nicely into here because of all of the lovely little compartments. But what if you are running under? This happens sometimes when you're doing a show and you just speed up and you speed up. What happens if you don't make time? Because especially, unlike with a real show, if you run under 5 minutes, no one's checking their watch, you know? Whereas if you're on live doing it and you said that that show you were going to do is 40 minutes long, all people need to do to double check that, if you're running 10 minutes under, they might be having the best time in the world, but they know that the show started at 8, and all they can do is just look at the clock and go, he's finishing? That's where the rest of it comes in to its own. I have this. This is the Visions deck by Matthew Wright. It is fantastic. I love this trick. I highly recommend that you get it. That lives in there as well, and that will always be on the table with me in case I do go under, because it does happen every now and then. It really does. I also have a standard deck of cards, so a standard deck of cards lives on my table the entire time as well, because I do card tricks, so why wouldn't it? So if I'm running under, then I can just grab out the cards and do a quick trick with that. Also as well in here we have the amazing Puzzle 3D, which is a wonderful little puzzle illusion, again created by TCC, the guys that made the case. I love this. It is brilliant, really, really good routine, and it's small and it's tiny, and it's just something nice that everyone can just concentrate on and look at. So they're my kind of go-tos if I do need to fill any extra time. But everything is in here, and it's wonderful. And the fact that everything has its own compartment as well just makes everything a lot better, you know. For my cups and balls, for instance, I've got, you know, a little bottle for my balls, and my balls live in there, you know. Flash paper, because I use flash paper in the show, lives in this little compartment here. You know, everything has its place, and I like that. It's good. It's nice. Even in here, for instance, like this is something that I don't even really do. I have my setup for Vittorna restored cigarette paper. That lives in there, and I know that if I need it, it's there. So it's good to go. This is brilliant, and this is definitely one of the best purchases I've ever made for a case. It's fantastic. It fits everything I need it to fit in, and more. If you don't know about it, then go ahead, check it out, go for it. As I said, this isn't meant to be a review, but turned out to be one. But yeah, it's perfect, it's brilliant, and it fits everything that I could ever need it to fit in for a virtual show. Regarding would I use it as a close-up case? Probably, yeah. The only thing is with my close-up case, because I travel with it, I like that I can use it as a shoulder bag. This you can't, unfortunately, use it as a shoulder bag. That's why it's my virtual showcase. Because I can literally just move it into the room, everything lives in it, stays there, done, dusted. So there we go, guys. There is my little look inside the bag of my virtual show. So yeah, if you like it, don't forget to leave a little like and leave a little subscribe if you fancy it. Please subscribe, that would be lovely, please. subscribe. Comment your thoughts. Tell me what you think about all this this weird little mini series that I'm doing. I hope that you're enjoying it. I hope that you're liking it. And yeah, it's an interesting look. And so yeah, wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful day, morning, or evening. And I'll see you all on the next video where we will be looking at the stage bag. See you then, guys. Yeah, now when I do a virtual show,